Jaka. Okay. Shafunjan Mafeti Kamala Mulindo Kushen known as Lindo Pep. And this is the TTB show. And this part of the segment is called Inside of the Mind of a Football Technocrat. We are talking Orlando Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns. And I'm joined by the one and only because Picasso, the football technocrat himself. Shafunjan William. Welcome to the show. Trend out here. The trend. Since Plomele Kambini, Orlando East, the Mocha Cafe, the view looks beautiful. How much and I was living here, how much shining to Zabo. You can tell that Orlando Pirates has been doing very well. How much feeling an image in I'm not visa, but it feels good to be in and around the class and to be talking football and Mocha Cafe known as Meet right now. Okay, let's talk football.
I think the game is so big namhlanje. It's not a title decider, but it will influence wherever these two teams will end up at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think before we get into the technical stuff and what so forth, maybe what does this game mean for both teams? Of course, both teams are competing for the CAF Champions League. Both teams are competing for the league as well. Mamelodi Sundowns, I think they did very well yesterday as well as one of the friends. Both teams getting a result over their respective teams. But what does this game mean for both teams?
I mean, for one team, it means that they will be opening up the margin. For one team again, it means that they will be catching up. So a crucial game for both teams. I'm sure they will go into the game looking forward to it. Whichever team loses, they still have a chance in the league.
With regards to Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, we've seen they've had coaching changes. Coach Miguel Cardoso comes into the season. I think that yesterday's match was his 8th in a row, if not 9, if I'm not mistaken. If not 8, if not 9, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry about that. Maybe take us through Mamelodi Sundowns and what you've seen from Miguel Cardoso. He hasn't played too many games of consequence. I think will be one of them. I think this is an introduction to South African people to him.
I think the coach has a clear idea of what he wants. He's very direct. He manages the state of the game. I think he knows what the game needs in certain times and certain moments of the game. I think the players are starting to understand what he wants tactically. I think with set pieces off the ball in possession, defending transitions, making the transitions, whether the transition is artificial or it's organic, doesn't matter. I think the players are starting to understand him, but obviously they haven't had such a test in terms of playing against the best attacking team in the league. I think, in my opinion, that being Orlando Pirates. So I think it's going to be a good challenge for the coach to measure himself. And it's one of those games whereby it doesn't only prepare them for the league, but it prepares them for the Champions League as well. Because you get the teams that are on the same level as Orlando Pirates when you go into that space.
Yeah, you know what? This is a Champions League match. We have to mention this. This is a typical Champions League match. Two teams on form, got the best attack. They control the game. But maybe with regards to Orlando Pirates, right? And when you're looking at the depth of the squad, doing very well, of course, this season. But going into this match, they've improved their away form, which is something that people were complaining about last season. To say they've got 5 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses. Can they improve their away form? Looking at going into this season, they've done well in that aspect. But going to ep5 is not going to be an easy task for them. What should they expect from a setup perspective, especially from a defensive organization?
I think Pirates go into this game feeling good. I think they go into this game. I'm not sure if Sasane will be available because he went out with a knock in the previous match. I think the partnership obviously is in the coach is going to be tested. I think Van Rooyen hasn't been able to last the full 90 minutes in the past game, so that as well will be a factor. I think Dion Hoto will probably be preferred in that position. Or I think Paseka Mako is good enough. He's an excellent player. He should be starting there. And then maybe try Dion Hoto in the right way. Pirates, I go to bed every night knowing who Pirates are going to pick.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
with Sundowns, it's not clear.
Yeah.
You know, you never know, except, you know, Allende is there, Ribeiro is there, Bukwena is there,
Seems like Koza.
Koza is there, Ronwen is there, mostly Grant is there.
But
you never know.
maybe before you continue, Picasso, can we maybe give predicted lineups? Maybe let's start Orlando Pirates. Can you give a predicted lineup for Orlando Pirates before we get into the technical side so we can be easy for you to explain?
I think Simple in goal,
Okay.
China. The defensive unit, I think it will consist of Tapelo Toki, Kodlela Osibisi, as two centre backs, right back, Tino Van Roy, and left back, Paseka Mato. In the middle, Ubata, Nomakaula, and Peter Paswanani. On the left, Kurele Mufukeng. On the right, Dion Woto. Up top, I think they will start with Papopa because of what the amount of possession that Sundowns is able to keep. You know, they need someone they will keep that defense busy when they're out of possession. And then in terms of
Sundowns, okay, maybe then let's move on to Sundowns because this one is an interesting one. Under Coach Rulani, the setup was completely different every time when we played against Orlando Pirates because the coach was always looking for control in the game. How do you think that Miguel Cardoso will set up?
I think he will look for speed more than anything. I think he will look at that defensive pairing of Orlando Pirates centre backs and look for verticality and speed behind them. You know, he knows that Dion, whoever's playing as full backs, they enjoy going up the field, so we'll look for speed. So I think Ronwen in goal, Koza and Grant in centre back. Probably, I don't know if Sailor is back. I think he will be playing there. And then I think Obrimo Fiba as another full back. In the middle, I think it's Tebza, it's Allende, probably Ribeiro.
Yeah.
And I think this time we will probably change it. Or maybe Adams. I think he'll go for Adams in the middle. Allende, Adams, Tebza. No, I appreciate talented players.
Yeah.
And then on the left, I think Matthews. On the right, Ribeiro. Up top, I think Shalulido or Reynas.
Yeah. So where does Orlando Pirates capitalize from the defensive errors as a community of Orlando Pirates, if there's any? Where are the spaces if involved? Is it in midfield where they can dominate the game on the Mamelodi Sundowns? Or is it attacking the last line in Orlando Pirates very aggressive? Or is it in the build-up process? Where will the Mamelodi Sundowns try and capitalize and use the opportunities or the spaces on the pitch to punish Orlando Pirates?
I think the one thing that's clear about Orlando Pirates, you catch them on the counter. I don't think their rest defense is as sound as it should be. Because you find Siko China having to defend a lot of 1v1. As soon as that happens, that tells you that there's something that happened that is wrong before the ball gets to the goalkeeper. And I think Pirates need to fix that in order not to be punished. So in terms of that, in the outside channels, I think that's where Mamelodi Sundowns can find joy. I think if they are dominant in possession and they are very vertical, they can find joy in between the centre backs, Makaula and Mbata, in that space there. Ribeiro is always looking for that space, but far off on the right. I think those, and then in behind, those that are played in behind for Matthews to run, for Reynolds to run, for Peter to run. So that's where they can find joy. Set pieces, I don't think Orlando Pirates are vulnerable. I think they deal with them well. So I don't see Sundowns getting any goal from that unless it's a direct free kick to goal. But corner kick, free kick on the side into the box, I think Pirates do very well in those.
All right. Similar question. Papa Pogo's about the Orlando Pirates because this is a huge match for Orlando Pirates. They do not win this one, in my opinion, they're in trouble. Because Mamelodi Sundowns is not going to drop 9 points. For Orlando Pirates to do anything this season, they're going to have to beat Mamelodi Sundowns for themselves. Because it seems like no one will stop Sundowns other than maybe Stellenbosch. And maybe the Kaizer Chiefs, maybe getting a draw in that space. But maybe, how does Orlando Pirates win this match?
I think Pirates must just go there and be themselves. You know, attack without holding back. They've got nothing to lose. If you are chasing, you have nothing to lose. what are you protecting? You know, Sundowns have possession one to protect. Pirates are protecting nothing. You know, I think players, the first point where they should win the game is in spaces of first the individuals. The individuals should go into the game knowing that they are playing against players that are very good, a team that is very good, and they need to raise the standard. You know, I think the levels that Patrick Maswanganyi has showed in the derby, that's where every player should they should look at that game like that to say, we're gonna take this game by the scruff of its neck. We're gonna take this game to these guys. We're not gonna show them any respect. If we lose, we lose. You know, go out there, play football, and there's a way to lose matches. And Orlando Pirates are not underdogs going to this game. Sundowns are not underdogs. I think these are teams that are well known and they are level in terms of quality. You know, there are weaknesses in every team. You know, but the best teams have less weaknesses. And Sundowns have less weaknesses. But I think the individual brilliance of Maswanganyi, the individual brilliance of Rele Mofokeng, those are players that can come to the party and make things happen for Orlando Pirates and force the issue and make sure that they do get something in the game in terms of goals, assists, whatever the case is, that will help them to win the game.
Yeah, I know what. I didn't want this to take time. I'm already looking at the screen. I'm seeing the Mamelodi Sundowns line out there, and it's very interesting. Who are the two players that are going to be so important for both teams? When they start Orlando Pirates, who's going to be the key player for Orlando Pirates?
I think at the back, CBC is going to be very crucial. I think it's going to be very crucial. Up front, I think Maswanganyi is going to be very crucial because I think Rele finds joy the most when Maswanganyi is at his best. I think they feed off each other, even though they don't pass each other much, but I think they feed off inspiration. I think when Maswanganyi looks at Rele and is doing well, he tells himself that, okay, my boy is doing well, I also want to help him. Rele looks at Tito, he's like, okay, Tito is trying. Let me try as well.
Yes, but you know, we should be
Yeah.
Maybe quickly, Mamelodi Sundowns, two key important players in that match.
I think, Temsa knows, Temsa is so good that he's able to control people that are behind him and those that are in front of him. That's why I'm not mentioning a centre back.
Yeah.
Because he's so good at that. Control in terms of body language, in terms of giving instructions, in terms of either increasing the tempo or taking it down a bit. It's such an important thing that so those two, I think, will be then. Ribeiro, of course. Ribeiro, as long as he's closer to goal, he's always dangerous. I think he becomes the most useless as far away from goal as he is. I think he should try and stay there. That's why he's so productive. He's lethal. I think he's a cutter above the rest in those offensive positions.
But I never could English. I have got Mamelodi. Kalena la Spanish, but I never know. He's so meticulous. When they come and shine a little emphasis. Hey, they're going to exam. There's a word that you gave us when you said emphasis. But people are perform closer. Apologies for the sound, guys. Like I said, it's Blomenemi to take us to Orlando East. Obviously, the environment in terms of sound, I hope you guys can hear us properly. I affected it much. Obviously, yeah, taxis are up and down. A quick one, Picasso. This is a big game. Score prediction. Who wins this one, in your opinion?
I'm going to be brave. Bob Paparania, Bob. 2-0, 2-1. Between those two spoilers, 2-0, 2-1. But I don't think it's allowed goal score. I think they won't score. I think Ribeiro can put one in. Or Shalulini. But I think Pirates will win this one 2-1.
All right, that was Coach Picasso with the inside of a mind of a football technocrat. My name is Ulindo Wutemkosi and his name is Coach Picasso. And this is the TTB show. Boom.